Hi, my name is Ben and welcome to Angling For You. Today you join me at Birtwoods Fisheries in a new short season called Back to Basics. And in this season, what we're going to do is look at basic fishing and setups and how you would start and how you would continue to catch fish without having all the gear and all spending absolutely thousands. Let's get this F1 unhooked. Just hooked lovely in the lip. The maggots, full of beans. Lovely little fish. Let's get him back in and we'll show you how we're catching it. So as you can see, the biggest sort of change to as you normally see me fishing is what I'm actually fishing on. So let's get the rod out of the way and we'll start to explain what we're fishing and how we're fishing on. So as you can see, I've always got my fishing box with me and I've got all my tackle. Now today, as you can see, I've only got a little trusty folding camping chair and a few little bits and bobs, but essentially the things are the same in regards to how I'm doing it. So I'm just going to fire a bit of bait out there, just keep those fish there. But as you can see, I'm feeding those maggots. I've got them straight to my hand, like I would do if I were fishing any other method or fishing on my box. So today it's not about having all the expensive gear. This little mini series is about really stripping it down and fishing light and taking light gear, and that's one of the reasons why I've done this, because I get a lot of people that are getting back into fishing and they don't all necessarily want to spend lots of money on equipment. So behind me I've got just a little unhooking mat just in case we hook anything that's half decent, obviously a chair and a landing net handle, and at the front I've got a little rod rest, and to be honest that's it's as simple as it needs to be. I've got a little bag with me which has got a few bits and bobs that I need, but other than that I'm good to go. Now in regards to fishing, as you can see, I've got a little old school setup really. This is something that I would fish maybe if I were fishing rivers or canals with a little bit of tow on, but we have got a little bit of breeze on there, and the reason I like it is it creates a nice splash. It's really visible and really easy to see, and I've set that up so in total it's about 8 inches, and we're just fishing maggots, so it's straight through onto a size I think it's a size 4 shot, and I'm going to, on the bait as a bait wise, got KKMB size 14 because we're aiming for sort of anything really, and these carp and F1s as you've just seen. So we're going to fish with a double maggot, and all I've been doing before that is been feeding maggots in bit by bit, a bit like when you're fishing shallow fishing, because effectively that's what we're doing, and we're just keeping that bait going in. We're doing sort of 2 or 3 maggots at a time, so 2 or 3 pouches at a time, but all we're doing is probably putting 8 or so maggots in at one time. So what I'll do is I'll just move this rig a bit closer for you so you can see it now that we've got bait on it. So I've got light line, we've got a little bit of Daiwa Hypersensor on, 6-pound line all the way through. We've also got a Yank and Bank, which is just a wag, and a little Ninja reel with 2,500 capacity. Just going to bring this a little bit closer so you can see. So there's the float, like a nice little style river float, and that's down to a little KKMB, and we'll get that back out. What we're going to do first before we do anything is just flick that out in front of us, and then we're going to have a little pouch of maggots before we cast. So it's important that we're fishing. I mean, I've met the swirling for those already, and you know, there's a lot of small fish out there. Straight into another fish. Again, this feels like a little small roach, but they're right on this feed now, and like I was saying, it's just back to basics fishing. It's catching those fish that you used to catch when you were little, and enjoying catching them. It's a nice little roach, beautiful roach just in the lip. It's getting back, and it's about just enjoying your fishing. Now, a lot of people nowadays, it's all pole orientated, and don't get me wrong, I love the pole just as much as anybody else does, and sometimes it's just about enjoying your fishing, and that's really what I want to show you today, that you don't have to spend a lot of money to catch these fish. And I've got probably spent £1.20 on some maggots, and then just put a little light setup together, and it, you know, relatively easy. I mean, you can get an half decent rod now for 20 or 30 quid. You could get a reel for around the same. You know, you could really start fishing for 100 quid really, with half decent sort of stuff, and you know, that's what it's about. To another little fish. There's like another little nice stamp roach. These roach are beautiful fish. I mean, it's just like when you've been back to being a kid really, and you're having that sort of time to spend, and you used to, you know, you catch a 10-ounce roach and it'd be like the best thing you've ever caught. Lovely little fish. And really, that's what today is about. It's about enjoying your fishing, and it doesn't always have to be spending hundreds of pounds. Like I said, you don't have to spend hundreds of pounds to enjoy. Although, no matter how much money you spend, you still get stuck on a bush. Straight away, as soon as it hits the water, you know, the fish are there, they're competing. Doesn't take more than a few seconds. Straight in, look, into a smaller fish again, another roach. There's absolutely tons of them waiting for that bait. Another fish. It's like one of those little small roach again. Maybe a rod this time. It's a beautiful fish to end on. Beautiful rod. Stunning fish to end on. It's a little bar of gold. What's in him? On for the camera. Absolute beautiful fish, and that's what it's all about, catching these beautiful fish nice and simply, nice and easily. I hope you took something from this, and you not always need to spend that big amount of money to get good fishing and enjoy yourself. These little sessions are great, and you know, it's it's just easy and cheap to do. So if you wanted to get into fishing, give this little setup a try. Like and subscribe. Follow us on the Facebook group and the Instagram, angling_for_you and angling for you. And you come on there and check out some of the other videos for when you want to try new things out. And like and subscribe. Thanks a lot, guys. Tight lines.